Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Leadership for the Now. My name is Florin Lungu. I'm so delighted to be with you today. And today I'm joined by a wonderful friend and a guest, Ann Röckert, which is the Sales and Marketing Manager at Uni3 by GLA. Welcome, Ann.
Well, thank you, Florin, and really thank you for hosting and having me on the show today. I'm really excited, a little bit nervous, but with your guidance, I think we will have a lovely 30 minutes or so in front of us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the show. So, for anyone that doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a woman in the best of ages, and I've been working within sales and marketing for almost all my working life. Starting in the what do you say business to consumer in as a shop worker, and
Mhm.
then moving on and for rather long time I was in working at AB Volvo, mostly for with project leading for customer events and sponsoring, and moving further on to HRG, the travel business agency, and worked with yeah customer events and conferences. And from that, also moving further on as a sales manager for Quality Hotel 11 and Eriksbergshallen. And after that, uh, this new and exciting role here at Uni3 as a sales and marketing manager.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, events and sales and caring about people has been kind of the theme of all of your career, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I really love the connection that people have when they meet up and have the magic that appears when people are sharing ideas and meet together. So I'm really happy that the world is opening up again and we are not isolated in our own little bubbles. That is magic, actually.
Right on. Yeah, I cannot wait to be again. I just attended an event a few weeks back, so it's a different feeling. We really need to remotely and virtual what we're doing now, it's great. But in person it's a yet another level. So I cannot wait to be there with you at Uni3 again. So for those that do not know, Uni3, it's almost kind of the buildings that we see behind you, right?
Yes.
So tell us
Uh,
a little bit about Uni3.
yeah, Uni3 started up as a project. The total name is Uni3 by Geely, and that is, of course, owned then by Geely in Sweden. And it started up as a project when we tried to, and this was before my time joining the company. There was a lot of different addresses for the different Geely companies in Gothenburg, mostly in Lindholmen, and we were aiming for getting all uh, membership of the Geely family together in one place to make it easier for collaboration and like meeting up and start projects and so on. But then we said, why only collaborate between each other? Why don't we invite everybody else to be collaboration and together with us? So then we thought about the idea to build a campus, an open campus for everyone to visit and to take part of this innovation. So, sorry. In the background here, if I go like this, you see five lovely buildings,
Yeah.
and we are situated just across the street from SVT in Lindholmen or at Lindholmen. And there is these five buildings, and they are all inspired by the five different elements in China. So we have have fire, we have metal, we have wood, water, and earth. And we also want to combine east and west. So we say we are innovators where east meet west. And by that, we also have the granite from Bohuslän here in Sweden, and also the glass that is really inspired by the long tradition in Sweden with glass production. And
Wow.
by that, we also not just an office space. You can rent an office space here at us, and we have a lot of different Geely companies, of course, in the buildings. We have 106,000 square meters, and in these 5 different buildings. And we have a lot of offices, of course. So around 70% of the office space is rented by different Geely companies. And the last 30% is companies outside the Geely family. And in the bottom floor, we have this really nice conference and event areas that you can use. Everybody can use. You just go in and book it and rent it and host your event or meeting. And with that, also have the possibility to easily collaborate and meet with the tenants in the building.
Wow, I didn't know about the Swedish history, with glass and granite. I when I've been there and I had a tour, and thank you for that. It was amazing to see the 5 elements in play, and you could also see them now in the colors of the building. But the whole idea is for you, if I understand this right, to create an environment for innovation, right? To create a space where innovation can take place. So then, what would be some challenges that companies usually face when it comes to innovation?
I would say, yeah, there is some. In some cases, it's like people maybe are not willing to share their ideas with others because it's a secret, and you want to earn money on it or elaborate that. So that is one of the challenges, of course. What we try to do is at least to have the meeting space to let people interact with each other. And we also try to build a home or a more innovative meeting space. So when you enter one of our rooms, it should be your brain should start to move in not the usual path. It's so easy to go with the same as you have always. But as some really smart guy said, if you do the same thing over and over, you cannot expect a new challenge or another development. So we are not there yet, but we are moving forward to help people to be creative when they enter our meeting facilities. And of course, we have this really nice, if you're a tenant at our facility, you have really nice services. You have 3 different restaurants in the building that you can choose. So you can have, like, you don't need to go home if you're hungry. There are other possibilities to fulfill that need, of course. And we will also soon have a hotel. So if you're tired, you can easily get a room and get some sleep and get back to work and start or go further with your thoughts.
Wow. So that's almost like a one-stop shop. People could have everything in the campus. And what you just share about, how you feel when you enter the rooms, I can just, confirm that. I can just testify to that, because the way that the rooms and the spaces are designed, it really makes you think differently. And it really I mean, it shows that you have put a lot of thought in there.
Mm.
And another thing that I noticed when I look at the, the tenants that are sitting in the buildings, I also noticed that they're not only, one type of company, from maybe they are from similar industries, but they're different sides. So I would also say that you have created a space where big companies sit together with smaller companies, with startups, and you also have a collaboration um, with United Spaces, right? Which runs,
Yes.
one or two of the floors, and that's where maybe smaller companies sit. And we know that for big companies, one of the biggest challenge for them is that it's very difficult to innovate inside of a big company with a lot of history. And usually innovations come from the outside of the industry. If we think about, the electric car, Tesla came up with that, with a model that was sustainable enough for them to, commercialize it, large scale. Tesla was not an automotive company, right?
Nope.
So I think you just have created that kind of environment there where, small companies, big companies are in the same building, they can meet, and it's the environment is just inspiring to really think differently. So that's actually what I felt when I was there.
Yeah, and I can also, like, we have this big, you saw it when you were there, the big courtyard, or what we call the theater.
Hmm.
It's an open space between the wood and the water buildings, and it's really huge. It's like almost 1,200 square meters, and you can fit in 600 people there. But you
Wow.
can also, it's so we can have it for different events. You will be there in a couple of weeks hosting one of them, and
Absolutely.
but it's also a living room, or as we say in Sweden, ett uppehållsrum for the tenants in the building. So you can go down there, you can grab a cup of coffee, you can sit in another environment than your normal office. And we have a lot of different games there. We have actually 4 ping pong tables, so you can play around with your colleagues, or you can bring your family and play with them. We have also chess and other games that you can play, to be, because sometimes it's my belief, at least, that when you have problem that you want to solve, or you have an idea but you are not finished with the thought, in some cases you need to go a bit away from your thoughts and do something else and keep your mind occupied with other things, and oh, there was the solution. And I think we also create this environment so people can come down there and just grab a coffee, have a small talk with some colleagues, and have actually a workshop in that area. That is not the normal office space.
Absolutely. And what I love the most is also the waterfall that you have in the theater. So
Yeah.
so you have an inside, indoor waterfall, and actually, just being there, and I know you sometimes put this, kind of forest sound, or in the speakers, like with birds, and then you hear the water. It's almost like you don't even have to go outside the building to get inspired, or even to relax sometimes, if you want to relax. So for me, it's really a place where I can go and sit my whole day. If I have, I want an environment where I can just think and work on something outside of my usual environment. Because what happens is that you're absolutely right. Sometimes we're so, focused on what we do, and when we get stuck, we just need a trigger. We just need to change environment and change our perspective. So I think
Yeah.
that's what you created there. So what would be then some of the events, maybe what kind of events, would you like to plan, or actually to host at Uni3, right? So what would be some of the things that you already have in the pipeline that you could share with us, but also some of the things that will be like your wish list?
Yeah, on my wish list. Yeah, if we start with what will happen during next week, we'll have some really nice events happening. We will have the regional final on Venture Cup, and that
Wow.
is really in line with what we are doing, trying to be a home for innovators. They have their regional final for startup, and that will be on Tuesday between 5 and 9 in the evening or afternoon. So, and that is an open event, so you can sign up by going into Venture Cup's home site or homepage. Really, really lovely event coming. And we will also host Destinationsdagarna for Gothenburg and Company, eller Göteborg Company, on Thursday next week. And that is also something that I really look forward to, when we are going to meet a lot of different people from the western part of Sweden. The day is for Göteborg Company to marketing Gothenburg as a
Travel destination.
event place, or
Right.
yeah, or a
Wow.
destination to be at. And after that, you will be there with Learn. That is something that I really also look forward to, that we bring things for our tenants to come and visit in the theater. You will talk a little bit about
Communication, right?
yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and there will be possibility for people to come with the lunches, or purchase a lunchbox. Really easy, and you come, you learn something during your lunch break, and hopefully you will go out there with some new thoughts and new learnings. And if yeah, the we are having this like wish list,
Mhm.
or the dream event, and the dream event would be to host a wedding.
Wow, a wedding.
Yeah, why not a wedding? Why not people coming from different cultures, or Sweden or whatever, and host a wedding there? That will be the ultimate. But also to host a really big gala. Yeah, maybe like some environmental prize, or a sustainability day, or
Nice.
something like that. That would be also really nice. But I would say, to see small meetings that really matters, that is also like, now we are talking about the big events, but I think also that it's really important to be proud of, and also do a really good job when it comes to smaller, more intimate events. It might be like, used to work for AB Volvo, when Asta Gabrielsson and Gunnar Larsson met for the first time in 1924. If that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have the cars out there.
Yeah.
So it can be so easy to really two people and a good start for an idea. If we can
Wow.
host that, super, I would say.
Absolutely. So while I cannot promise any wedding, right? What I can do, and this is something that we discuss about, is bringing some of my my content and my knowledge to Uni3, and we mentioned that briefly, and I think now it's already I think we already made it public, so I think we can speak about it, right? So
Yeah.
we're gonna host together a lunch and learn event on May 18th during
Yes.
lunchtime. That's why we call it lunch and learn. And
Mm.
this the concept of the event will be that we use the lunch break to network and also to maybe learn something new. So there will be lunch that will be available at the place that you could purchase if you want, and people can sit in the theater, and we're gonna share some communication keys. So I kind of summarize some keys that I would share with the attendants that they will be able to take away and apply into their, communication at work or in life right away. And also, I'm promising that I'm sharing with them some other resources. I'm not going to leave and then just, after 45 minutes and leave them like that. I'm definitely going to share some more resources with them. But if anyone it's interested to join us, I think there will be, I think we have a link. So maybe someone could just share a link in the comments. So registration, it's open, and the event it's free, but it's only going to be in person. So that's the difference. We're doing these talks and these interviews online, but that will not going to be a virtual event. We just want people to meet again, because we know
Yes.
that kind of connection that we're looking for and innovation comes from people talking and meeting. So I'm so excited about that. And thank you for hosting me there. And I'm sure we're going to add value to not only the tenants at Uni3, but this is also an opportunity for everyone that have never been to the campus to actually
Yes.
come in and have a look, right? This is going
Yes.
to be an opportunity for people to come in and see, and kind of feel the theater. So I'm excited for that, and I'm looking forward to hosting the event with you.
Yeah, me too. And also, like, I think that we should say here that if you are not from Uni3, not the tenants, and you are from, I don't know, Stockholm or whatever, and wants to join us, please feel free. And also share if you want to have a guided tour in the um, in Uni3 when you are there. That is also possible, of course.
Wow. So you could, so people could just, when they attend, they could, because you would be there at the reception as well, right?
Yeah.
So when we will welcome them, they just need to tell you that they will also want a private tour. And I really recommend that, because for me it was kind of eye-opening how, how the five elements fit together, and hearing the whole story, behind
Mhm.
Uni3 was just inspiring, and everything made sense. Like when you look at the buildings behind you, and they are different colors, you wonder, like, why are there different colors, but you don't know
Yeah.
that they are the five elements. And so, I really recommend the tour. So if you get the chance to come at Uni3, really book a tour, because you're gonna love it. And you're also gonna get a chance to see how it would be for someone that sits there, right? You're also gonna get some to see some floors, maybe even
Yeah.
the Geely design center, right? That it's still kind of
Maybe not. Maybe not.
maybe not.
Yeah, it's we can share it here that one of the black buildings that you see in the background of me is metal, of course, then, and it's Geely Design Center and or Geely Design Studio, and they will move in during summertime here. And this is a really when you see innovation as it best, and also in a very city area. Usually it's down in the forest somewhere, really private and hidden. Here we have the design studio in the middle of the city and in the middle of the innovation hub that Lindholmen is. So I think it's really good. But that is it's not, it's a construction site right now, so we are not completely ready with that one. So that will not be possible actually to access. And unfortunately, since it's a really cool building, it will not be accessible for the public later
Yeah,
on either, because it's secrets in there. And what you
right.
also see in the background is the red building, and that's Fire, of course, and that is the new Clarion Hotel, the Pier, that will open up during the autumn. Sometimes in November is the date that we are aiming for, but as you know, there are some difficulties with deliveries and things like that for the moment, but that is the aim, and that we will also have the opportunity to have better ways of hosting events and so on when overnight, and not host the event overnight, but during a couple of days, because then we will have a really close collaboration with the hotel when it comes to accommodation, and also
Absolutely.
for all the companies that are situated at Lindholmen. I think this will be a really good complement.
Absolutely. And so then I was lucky that I was able to see a little bit inside the design center, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
probably I was there early enough, so it was still a construction site, but then not confidential. So,
No.
well, yeah, okay. But anyway, the tour, it's fantastic. So I really recommend the tour. And of course, I would love for you to join us for the luncheon on the 18th
Mm.
of May. So if you plan to be in the city, if you plan to work in the city, if you work in Lindholmen area, just just take the lunch with us on 18. You will learn something. You will have a really good lunch. You can order that before everything gets in the registration form, and we cannot wait for you to join us and for us to see you there. So, Anne, thank you so much
Mm.
for the time. I will not want us to go any longer, but I would like to ask you a question that I usually ask all my guests. Like, what does leadership today means to you?
Leadership for me is really to be a leader and not a boss. It's and I think there's a very huge difference between those two. And I think it's your responsibility as a leader to inspire your colleagues and staff or team members to have a clear vision on where you are going, but not tell them how to get there. Give them the tools and the authority to get there in their own way. But yeah, I think this is where we are going. Please come there as quick, as cost efficient as possible, but do it in your way. And what do you need from me to support you to get there?
Wow,
That
that's so
is,
good. So someone that it's empowering, right? I mean, it's able to cast vision to be very clear where we're going, and then it's empowering and delegated to their team. So and it gives them the freedom to actually be able to do things in their own way, knowing that that's the goal. So
yeah.
I really love that. So someone which is not attached to the how, right? It's
Mm,
attached to what we need to do.
yeah.
Thank you so much for making the time today, Anne, and being with us. I look forward to speak with you on the 18th, and be
Yeah.
back at the building. I really love the area and really inspires me. And for those of you watching, we look forward to come back to you next week with another guest. And until then, take good care of yourself and have a great afternoon. Take
Thank
care.
you
Bye
for
bye.
hosting me. Bye.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye bye.